get A&A of 1.3 billion in this financial year, of which 750 million was allocated for development and 557 million was allocated for recurrent. We also received an additional 7 million shillings from UNFPA that was going to the Directorate of Civil Registration, and the breakdown is there on page 1 of the supplementary estimates department, so that's a statement, so that you can be able to follow. I'm on the document, page 1 of 8 of the supplementary estimates. Chair and honorable members, the State Department for Immigration and Citizen Services realized the growth of 1.5 billion in supplementary 2, or in the proposed supplementary 2, which is divided into 1.3 billion going to, just a minute, growing from 12 billion. I don't know whether we are on page 2 of 8. So we received 1.572 billion as our proposed supplementary 2 amount, thereby moving our budget from 12.6 billion of approved estimates to 14.2 billion. The State Department also had an increase in appropriation of aid from 1.3 in the supplementary 2 to 2.3. 1.3 billion being in development and 967 million being for recurrent expenditure. And on page 3 of 8, this is a summary of the change in the position. And I can summarize quickly that out of the 1.57 billion we received, compensation of employees had 1.6 million, use of goods and services 525. That is available on page 3 of 8 of the supplementary estimates. Current transfers to government agencies, that's people who are overseas or immigration attaches, 10 million. Capital expenditure of 890 million. Acquisition of non-financial assets of 50. Other developments, 840 million. The total proposed allocation for supplementary is therefore 1.572 million. Chair and honorable members, the additional funding received in the supplementary 2 has been allocated in critical programs and projects, with the recurrent vote having 692 million and 890 going towards development. And the breakdown is there: compensation of employees, 146 for recurrent, domestic and foreign travel, 75, rental assets, 35, supply of production, 245, fuel, 40, legal fee, 50, other expenses, 80, grants and other transfers, 10, total 682.3 million going towards recurrent items of supplementary 2 estimates. On supplementary for development, we have supply of ID material, 300 million, maintenance and refurbishment of office at Nyayo, 50 million, supply of passport production, 40 million, purchase of e-passport booklets, 500 million, total being 890 million. Therefore, in terms of division, we have 682 for recurrent and 890 for development. And most of this money is going towards passport booklets and passport materials. Chair and honorable members, as I had said, the Department of Civil Registration Services entered into a collaboration with the United Nations to implement partnership, and we received 7 million additional funding from UNFPA. And we are implementing an agreement, an additional 9.2 million to develop and publish and disseminate information on Kenya's vital statistics is underway. That is on page 5 of 8 of the supplementary document. In as far as where money has already been withdrawn under 223, Chair and honorable members, the National Treasury did not approve any additional funds under Article 223 of the Constitution to the State Department during the said period. Chair and honorable members, the State Department acknowledges and appreciates the proposed additional funding of 1.5 billion during the period. However, there are still very critical areas that we request the committee to help us. And Chair and honorable members, the items on page 6 of 8 require additional funding. On development, we are talking about 150 million for maintenance of e-passport system. In terms of recurrent expenditure, for immigration attaches overseas, we have 250 million and 150 million respectively. We have on e-citizen, we are short of 70 million. On pending bills, we have short of 127.59 million. In total, we are looking at 747 as the shortfall in very critical areas. Let's turn to page 7 so that I don't take a lot of time on the supplementary. Chair and honorable members, as we review the 2023-2024 budget, it is important to note that the State Department was able to procure an additional 772,000 passport booklets to clear the backlog. That was really, it was the highest ever since the Department of Immigration was started. And this has really helped us make things move more efficiently. And we want to appreciate the committee also for that support. Chair and honorable members, finally, it is my sincere appreciation to the committee for the resolute support it has given the State Department in the financial year 2023-2024, and for giving us an opportunity to present our supplementary budget once again, supplementary number 2. And we look forward to your favorable consideration in as far as getting the additional funding. That is 747 million, together with 1.5 billion that has been that is indicated by the proposal we have presented before you. So, Honorable Chair, in brief, in terms of supplementary budget, our request is 1.5 billion, approval for 1.5 billion, which has already been indicated, and an additional 747 million, making a total of 2.2 billion in the supplementary budget that is before the House right now. That is as far as the presentation on supplementary is concerned. I wanted to be as brief and not read everything because we already have the documents. Allow me, Chair, now to proceed to the next document, the second document there, statement to the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the estimates for the next financial year, the year 2024-2025. Chair and honorable members and our guest MPs from Zambia, once again, I also want to appreciate and express my gratitude on behalf of the team for the support we have received for the entire year 2023-2024, and also look forward for support in 2024-2025. This forum gives us an opportunity to demonstrate our priorities based on immigration and citizen services needs and how far we've come in meeting the expectations Kenyans have in terms of population and migration management, and also in filling the gaps, the financial gaps that arise. And at the onset, Honorable Chair, I would want to bring to the attention of the members that my State Department have 4 critical flagship projects for Kenya Kwanza government. Number 1 is e-citizen. E-citizen is so central to this government because every service is going digital. The government is really focused on ensuring that all services go digital. The second flagship project, which is so key for this government, is the visa-free policy. I'm happy to note that for the last 4 months, we have been able to receive 500,000 visitors, tourists, coming to our country visa-free. And we have been able to raise 2 billion in the last 4 months from visa-free regime. The third very important project for this government is what we are calling a digital ID, Maisha number. Maisha number has 4 components. It has the Maisha number, the number we are giving to the citizens or other children when they are born, and that number is the number they use for their lifetime. It becomes their number for primary school, number for secondary school, ID number, becomes their P number for KRA, it becomes their NHIF number, it becomes their lifetime number in everything they do. And we have started rolling it out. And that number is being generated by civil registration at birth for every citizen. The next component of the digital ID is what we are calling Maisha card. We now have a smart card called Maisha card that we are issuing to Kenyans. We have now issued about 800,000 cards right now to Kenyans of all walks of life, both in terms of replacement of the lost IDs and also in terms of new applicants. The third component, of course, is on Maisha Digital ID, the virtual version. If you don't want to carry your physical ID, you can carry your phone around and you can be able to transact without a problem. The last component of this Maisha ecosystem is Maisha Integrated Database, which is IPRS. We are saying all the data of all Kenyans, all refugees, all foreign nationals are all connected together and collected by IPRS into what we are calling Maisha Integrated Database. It will be the database of all Kenyans, database of all foreigners, database of all refugees, all children born in Kenya, connected together into one central system that connects the entire government, whether it's KRA, whether it's health, whether it's education, they all collect their data. Even the private sector collects their data from there. So that is the digital ID ecosystem. The fourth component of a flagship project is labor migration. And the Honorable Chair and the Honorable Members, we are supporting labor migration as critical department because we issue travel documents and we facilitate traveling through the airport. And so we are also so key in supporting and working together closely with the Ministry of Labor and social protection in as far as ensuring that we get as many Kenyans as possible get opportunities abroad. One other thing I would want to mention, Honorable Chair, so that I go back to the report is on vetting. I'm happy to inform the committee that the government announced that vetting was vacated as from 1st of May. And we have been in the forefront. We have had engagements with our stakeholders, county commissioners, registrars, to ensure that we remove vetting for IDs, passports, birth certificates for all border communities around the country. And I think this is a milestone because for a long time, some part of this country were feeling marginalized because they are subjected to very unnecessary vetting for identity documents. So it's also our department which implemented that very transformative policy of government. Chair and honorable members, allow me now to come back to the financial year 2024-2025. That in the budget policy statement, the State Department had been
Chair, which page are we? We are lost.
Allow me to now come back to the. Okay, I was just explaining generally.
Page 4 of 12.
Yes. The 4 of 12.
The printed estimates.
Printed estimates. Thank you, Chair. Chair and honorable members, we are on page 4 of 12. Financial year 2024-2025 estimates versus the budget policy statement ceiling. Chair and honorable members, in the budget policy statement, the State Department had an allocation of 15.873 million, which is 15 billion, whereas in the draft estimates, the State Department has been allocated 15.151 million for the financial year 2024-2025. This presents a decrease of, we lost about 722 million. This reduction is majorly on development budget, where the State Department had a gross development budget of 5.5 billion in the BPS, in which it was reduced by 722 million to 4.86 million. So we have a reduction there, and the tables are there. Table 1 on the budget ceiling, as provided for by the budget policy statement for 2024, and the gross budget ceiling as provided by the annual estimates, which is 15.15. So the two tables can be able to compare. What actually we needed for this financial year was 27 billion, but what we finally got as a ceiling in the BPS was 15.8, which was later reduced to 15.1. Chair and honorable members, recurrent budget of 10 point, in this breakdown, we have a recurrent budget of 10.2 billion for the financial year 2024-2025, which will be financed by 1.245 million as AINE and 9.05 million from GOK. The corresponding expenditures are compensation of employees, which is 7.2 billion, grants and transfers, 165, and then 2.98 for operations and maintenance, as shown on the table. And the breakdowns are there, amounting to 10.2 for recurrent expenditure. On the development front, Chair and honorable members, out of 4.861 billion development budget for the coming financial year, 2.7 billion will be financed through AINE, if the committee approves, and 7 million from development partners, while 2.1 billion will be financed from the National Treasury to implement the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. On capital expenditure, it is broken down as follows. E-Citizen, the allocation is 306. Rollout of digital ID, 1.375. UPI, 330, that's my share number. IPRS upgrade, 280. Digitization of immigration records, 100. Total capital projects will total to 2.3, as I had said, 2.391. On other projects, we have maintenance and refurbishment, 90 million. Construction of NRB offices around the country, 29 million. Refurbishment of offices, we didn't get any allocation. NIMS, we have a debt of 80 million. Supplies for passport production, 368 million. Maintenance of immigration systems, both the hardware and software, 270. Purchase of booklets, 1.581 billion. Provision of visual recognition and behavior detection solution, 5 million. Construction of immigration border points, another 5 million. Maintenance of CRVSS system, 20 million. Completion of construction of the registries, 15 million. Improvement of civil registration system, 7 million. Total development or other capital expenditure will be 4.861 billion. Chair and honorable members, list of new projects and justifications. I'm happy to note that there are no new projects in the State Department for the year 2024-2025. Chair and honorable members, the State Department has pending bills amounting to 127 million, and we request that was accrued in the financial year 2022-2023, and the details are in Annex 3, as indicated. The State Department also, honorable Chair and members, has no stalled projects. We don't have any stalled projects around the country. Almost all the projects are ongoing. And then as far as alignment of estimates to the better bottom-up economic transformation agenda, Chair and honorable members, the budget estimates are aligned to the medium-term plan number 4 of Vision 2030, which is themed bottom-up economic transformation agenda for inclusive growth. The State Department is under governance and public administration sector, and is committed to achieving the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. As I had indicated, we have 4 key priority areas which we are running in my State Department. So the summary of the funding, I think the summary is there for 2024-2025, and I will run through them very fast. E-Citizen, 305 million. UPI, 330 million. Supply of ID, 1.3 billion. IPRS upgrade, 280 million. Digitization of fingerprint, 100 million. Integrated border management, we didn't get any allocation because we believe this program is going to run under PPP. It's a private-public partnership project. On refugee Shirika plan, we have not gotten any allocation. Some of the pertinent issues, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members, that I need to bring to your attention are highlighted on page 9 of 12 of the main document for 2023-2024, one of the issues we have is we are very tough cases affecting our Maisha ecosystem, Maisha number, Maisha card. We have about 10 cases in general who just came up in the last 1 year. And these 10 cases are targeting to sabotage our programs, our flagship programs, particularly the digital ID. And however, as we speak now, we have been able to lift all the injunctions against our programs. Our lawyers have been working very hard, but critically looking at this, we realize that they are really a threat towards the success of some of the critical projects. Because in all these flagship projects, e-citizen, we have cases, Maisha number, we have cases, even the charges which we revised, we have cases. So that's one area which we need the support of the committee, Honorable Chair, because these cases are very risky towards, in as far as implementing the bottom-up economic agenda is concerned. The second critical issue which is affecting us is budget cuts. We realize that there's a budget cut of 772 million that was done. Initially, we needed around 28 billion to run our programs. But from the estimates, we have a huge cut because of other issues. And we believe that that's one issue which we need the committee to help us. We also have many underfunded projects which are better, which are so critical to this government, which we need the support of the committee. We're also going digital. We have many manual registration processes around the country, which we need the support of the committee going forward. Still, we have a lot of inadequate staffing levels, and we are working hard to ensure that we have more staff so that they can be able to carry the department forward. One other challenge is management of our borders. Our borders remain porous around the country, borders with Somalia, border with Ethiopia, border with Uganda, Tanzania, we still have porous borders around our country, which is a major issue affecting our operations as a department. The other issue which slowly we are managing is delayed exchequer releases. And I want to thank the committee. When we started, we had 0 A&A, yet we collect a lot of money. But right now, we are going towards 4 billion shillings per year for A&A, and that will help us a lot in ensuring that we deal with exchequer issues. As I finalize, Honorable Chair, I want to say that there are critical areas, Chair and Honorable Members, which need additional funding to ensure that the programs continue running. One of the areas is the Huduma bill of 396 million to Mulba High-Tech Company. We have a pending bill of 396 that was not allocated. The procurement of 772,000 passport booklets that costed 1.8 billion. We also have an underfunding there. Operation and maintenance allocation over the years has been historically very low. So we have a challenge there and we require an additional 250 million. Pending bills of 378 million, 128 million of the headquarters and 250 million for our foreign attaches abroad who really are struggling. We have already contracted the upgrade for our Maisha integrated database at the cost of 745 million, of which 40 million only is available. So we have a shortfall of 705 million. Refurbishment of uncabling of Nyayo House. Nyayo House now is about 50 years old, and yet it runs some of the latest equipment for ETA, for e-citizen, and we are requesting the committee to give us support even as we do some of the modern cabling of Nyayo House. Rollout of the third generation ID, the Maisha card, and the digital identity at the cost of 595 million. Live capture units at 360 million. Legal fees, we needed, because we have 10 new cases, we needed around 247 million to deal with the cases, but we got an allocation of 50 million. operationalization of civil registration offices and NRB offices across the country. Our plan was we need to have offices in every constituency. Every constituency should have at least a civil registration and an NRB office for basic services, that is birth certificates and ID. In the last year, we were able to open and operationalize 30 offices in constituencies. And our prayer was we increase our coverage to the whole country so that we have 290 offices around the country for civil registration and NRB. Shirika plan also in terms of refugees, as we are aware, we are moving from encampment to integrated settlements, and we require 1 billion shillings to help us implement programs under the Directorate of Refugee. Chair and honorable members, the State Department proposes the following recommendations for your consideration. 1, to explore the possibility of using public-private partnership to improve on quality and timeliness of service delivery. Number 2, to enhance our A&A from the current 1.3 billion to 5.4 billion. This will enable us to issue passports in Minister, is we issue passports within 3 days. By at least August this year, we should be able to issue passports within 3 days. Number 3, the additional budgetary provision to cater for the listed areas amounting to 6.2 billion. We are requesting honorable members, Chair, honorable members, that you can allocate us an additional 6.2 billion. On page 11, Chair and honorable members, the State Department has attached the following annexes to provide additional information to the committee. Annex 1, the budget estimates for 2024-2025, project details for each project that we are running. Annex 3, status of all pending bills. We have them in the document. The IPRS, the upgrade of IPRS contract, and the Shirika plan, the refugee Shirika plan, transforming camps into integrated settlements. Finally, Chair and honorable members, I wish to explain
Radio 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More We are in charge. More Radio 88.2 FM. 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 We are in charge.
Duma, in that order, then I go the last round. And we are again reminded that we have got, so we have got 20 minutes between all of us. So every member, just 1 minute, please. To the point.
To the point. Thank you, Chair. First, I would like to appreciate the PS and the team, the good job they are doing. We see the good job you're doing, Bwana PS. Congratulations. Bwana PS, I wanted to also thank you on the vetting. I come from the community that has been affected by the vetting system. And as a community, we say a big thank you. At least for the first time, we will be able to be at par with the rest of the country, so that my brothers from Zambia can also hear that there's some community that cannot get the ID numbers unless they are vetted by the country. The other issue, Chairman, please protect me. There's a lot of noise from my neighbors here. If you can ask them.
You will be heard in silence.
Okay.
But again, I want also to correct you a bit.
Okay.
As much as the team wants really our compliments.
Yes.
But I think the issue of thank you may not be well appropriate.
Okay.
It's a right of Kenyans. So we just commend them.
At least for the 63 years.
Yes.
For the 63 years.
We Rosa, order please.
Thank you.
Yeah. So go on.
Chair, the other thing has been asked by the chair on the PPR and the integrated border. I wanted you to tell us more. The difference between the digital ID and the Maisha number. What is the difference? It seems the same. E-citizen, we get a lot of complaints that most of the time the e-citizen system is down, especially on the NHIF. Members contribute. You find the few months you have contributed, it's not reflecting on your system. What could be the issue? How can that be amended? Lastly, Shirika plan. What does that entail, Bona PS? It looks a very new thing to us as you ask for a budget. Thank you.
You, Rosa.
Chair, thank you.
Then Aduma, in 1 minute
My
each.
question is going to be very simple. We know the agony that Kenyans have experienced with the passports and the long queues. And you've given us a very positive response that things seem to have improved. But when I look at page 6 of 12 in the budget estimate, and I'm looking at purchase of passport books, I see that your requirement for the year 2024-2025 was 4381, yeah? But basically what you're going to be allocated is 1581. So you have a big, huge deficit of 2800. What is the implication of this? Are we going to go back to where we've come from? And yet you've tried your best and we are out of it if we don't have enough money to purchase those passport books. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I noticed towards the tail end of the PS submissions, he talked about some 10 cases which are likely to paralyze the operations, and some of them, he indicated they've lifted the injunctions, but he passionately called for the committee's intervention on that. I wanted to know what he wants the committee to do in that particular regard to the matters which are in court, being an independent state department vested with the lawyers and others. Chair, the other issue which you had also raised was on this issue of the third generation ID. I wanted to know the status of that third generation ID because that has not come out well, and why the department is also still budgeting for names which had actually been stopped. Thank you, Chair.
Let them address the three, then we come to the last bunch. And I think just to help you, I know there's a question on the Shirika plan, which is really in the refugee, which is not much really under the purview of this committee. I think it is supposed to be something under regional development, but you can just mention slightly to the same, but don't take much of time on that. I know it's not under us.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. I will go straight to the question. The Chair asked me about NIMS. What is going on? Why are we still budgeting for NIMS? Honorable Chair, we still have a pending bill under NIMS. When the NIMS project was done, the suppliers were not paid all the money, and we inherited the debt, which we are now struggling to clear. So our request to the committee is to help us.
But just stop there. Looking into your pending bills, it was just only, just go there. Your pending bills was, how much was it? Where was it? List of pending bills? Pending bills, which page was that? Your pending bills entirely is only 128 million, 127, inclusive of everything. And of course, we provided even in the annex. And there is very little related to the NIMS, Prof.
Thank you very much.
So we'll become clear.
Allow me to ask the CFO to clarify that point, because it's a bit technical, CFO. Or is it Lemarasha? All right, Lemarasha, Philippe Lemarasha, the coordinator for NIMS. Do you want to make a comment on pending bills vis-a-vis NIMS?
Okay. Yes, Chair and honorable members. As the PS has said, we had quite some substantial pending bills that accrued after the project basically ended. And that the figures are stated there. We have a figure of 396 million, that accrued because of the supplies of the heavy equipment that was used to produce the IDs. The equipments are there. They're located at the garment press unit. They are state-of-the-art equipment that can be used for various digital identity production materials. Then again, there was also 86 million that accrued for various other supplies. These have been audited severally. They've been audited 4 years down the line. But every respective year, there's been audits and confirmation of acceptance of the audit reports. And then again, still, NIMS, Huduma number bit is the one that ended, the production of cards. But the database management, the database storage, the maintenance of the heavy high-end servers, which store the 36 million data of people we collected, is still there. And the plan that we have, which PS has been able to approve with the CS, is that NIMS is supposed to work together with IPRS so that that huge, large volumes of data is integrated so that now we have a more enriched, enhanced database that can be able to support various government entities and private entities as they verify identity of persons. So what actually ended is a card production of Huduma cards. But in terms of the other data collection, data management, data maintenance, data cleaning activities of NIMS, that one still continues, working together with the IPRS. So I think that's a clarification we needed to make. Yes, there are pending bills, but also the other recurrent expenditure activities under NIMS that continue. Remembering again that we also have existing contracts for management and maintenance of the servers that contain the very sensitive data of Kenyans, which we need to continue propagating and improving on it. Yes, Chair.
Just a while at that, so you're confirming that your standing bills just on NIMS is 482 million, 396, then you talked about 86.
Yes, yes, Chair.
Roughly.
Yes.
Now, just a question before the PS takes over. Haven't you referred this question of the pending bills of NIMS to the cabinet on the cabinet dealing on the pending bills?
Yes, Chair, we have. We have submitted and we've had consultations on the same and they have actually approved the bills. But again...
Do we have a confirmation of the same?
I think CF4 has communication on the same.
You can provide?
Yes, we can provide.
Okay.
Yes.
So then the erroneous figure that the PS indicated of your pending bills at 127, then we consider it inaccurate.
Honorable Chair and members, there's a way the CFO is treating this NIMS issue, and I maybe can make a comment, because it is not a mistake as such. It's a technical issue, which CFO, you may need to comment on that, because I asked it and...
So, Chair and Honorable Members, as you have guided, we are going to give the confirmation of the bills that we forwarded to the committee. Those ones we did as you guided. The NIMS is still in marriage with IPRS, and in the process of this marriage, they're still going to incur some expenditure. And those are the expenditures that we are carrying with the budget that we are having. And therefore, in the pending bills, we have not captured the pending bill per se for NIMS, but we are capturing the operations for NIMS as we now transit and merge with the IPRS. Otherwise, the main bills have been carried by the committee.
Chair, but when is the anticipated divorce?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The second question was on UPI rollout. And honorable members, as you may recall, last year when we started rolling out Maisha number and Maisha ID, the court stopped us in December. So we struggled through the courts, and in February this year, on 27th of February, the court vacated the orders to stop us from printing IDs. So right now we are in the process, and we have done 800,000 right now for the last 3 months. So in as far as the cases are concerned, there's no case. We have 10 cases in court. Our lawyers are working on them, but there's nothing that is stopping the State Department from implementing any of the projects, whether it is Maisha number, digital ID, whether it is visa-free, whether it is e-citizen, all programs are running as we continue battling the cases. On PPP, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, you asked me to expand. Because of the nature of my State Department to generate revenue, we have a lot of potential from investors who can invest. One case in mind is visa-free or IBM, Integrated Border Management System. It's a strategic area where partnerships with the private sector can be engaged to help us be able to manage visitors. At the same time, these are areas which generate revenue. So PPP is working closely with us to ensure that we onboard the right farms to be able to, because the government does not have enough resources, so we resort to PPP to fill the gap. So we have a few other areas, including this visa-free, including other areas, even on digital ID, where private partnership. Because when you look at know your customer areas or other areas like IPRS, it's possible to have private partnership, and private partnership can be able to earn, or rather can be able to recover the investment over time by charging for the services given. Honorable Fatuma thanked me for vetting. Thank you very much, Honorable Fatuma, for the compliment. It was not very easy, although the chairman was saying something else, but I think it was not a very easy decision. But we are also happy to ensure that all Kenyans feel happy and they don't feel discriminated when they are getting services from my State Department. You asked it on PPP also, and I think I've answered that there's opportunity to raise money from many areas in my State Department. That is why we are open for PPP. The difference between Maisha number and digital ID. I said Maisha ecosystem has 4 components. Component number 1 is Maisha number. All newborns are given a number, a unique number called UPI. We are calling that Maisha number. That number is carried when you turn 18. You carry that number using your card, the Maisha card. So that same number you are getting when you are born, you use it in primary, you use it in secondary. When you turn 18, that number becomes your ID number. And that number becomes your NHIF number. It becomes your KRA number. It becomes your number for everything. And even when somebody dies, it becomes the number on their death certificate. That is Maisha number. Digital ID is, instead of carrying the normal card, the Maisha card, the smart card, you can decide to use your phone to onboard that card into the phone so that it is virtual, it is digital. That's what you call digital ID. And where we are going now in terms of technology, you no longer need to carry the card around. You can just carry your phone and do your transactions, just like barcode readers. That is where we are going as a country. So the main difference between Maisha number, Maisha card, Maisha digital ID, and Maisha integrated database is, each one of them is required. For civil registration, for newborns, they'll be requiring Maisha number, generated centrally. And then when they turn 18, they get Maisha card carrying the Maisha number. And if you don't want to carry the card, you carry the phone with a virtual number, or rather with a virtual version of the card, which is now digital ID. And where we are going, it will be no longer necessary to even have the card. With your face alone, when you show your face, you are known because of the digital ID. It is facial. Like even when you are using your phone now, when you are downloading apps from like Apple, you don't need anything, you just need your face because you have registered your face. That is where we are going in terms of technology in my State Department. On e-citizen,
Kenyans are already having that generation ID or the digital.
We are now on the pilot stage on digital ID. I think we are doing everything possible to ensure that we roll it out as soon as possible. In terms of the card, we are saying there are 13 million people on e-citizen who don't need to carry their ID. They are identified digitally. Even all of us who are using e-citizen, now we have 13 million of us. We don't need to have an ID. You just put your password and you identify digitally. The system communicates with IPRS. It confirms it's you. When you put your ID, it confirms digitally, and then you can do the transaction. So that is the kind of system we are talking about. Honorable Fatuma also asked about e-citizen system. It is down, sometimes down. E-citizen system, honorable members, honorable chair, honorable members, is a success story. We started from collecting 50 million per day. Right now, as we speak, we are collecting 700 million daily from e-citizen, 700 million. And it's increasing. Our target is that by the end of this year, 700 million Kenya shillings daily. By the end of this year, by December, we are targeting to be collecting 2 billion per day from e-citizen. So it's really a success story. But however, there have been teething problems here and there and for NHIF, I think NHIF did an upgrade of their system. And therefore, there was disruption of service. So it created some challenges. But we are working hard with the team to ensure that we iron out all the issues and resolve the issues around. Similarly, when we brought in the universities, you remember, there was a lot of hue and cry because they were not able to integrate properly. So those are some of the challenges we have had along the way. But the good news is we have been able to mobilize the entire government to come onto the e-citizen platform. And we believe that in the near future, all of us, we should be able to transact very conveniently and get all services we want, whether it's driving license, whether it is we are looking for police clearance, we should be able to do it digitally through our e-citizen platform. Honorable Rosa, on Shirika Plan, I think the chairman has given an overrider. It is under the Department of Regional Development. However, it's good to add that refugee affairs is under my State Department, although it is supervised or oversighted by Regional Development. The government has a new policy to transform camps into integrated settlements. When we talk about integrated settlements, it was to create some kind of municipalities where refugees are able to contribute to national development. As you may recall, for the last 30 years, refugees are only waiting for the support from the government and donors. But the thinking of the government now is, can we have these refugees also contribute to national development? Can they also make some contribution in terms of, can they be able to engage in some activities which also they can take care of themselves, basic activities. Can we create for them an environment where they can do a few activities here and there so that we don't have just to give them everything, so that they can sustain them. And this Shirika Plan also is about host communities. We are saying when we build a good hospital, it is not only for refugees. Let the host community also enjoy the facility. If we build a good school, it is not going to be for refugees. Let the host community also enjoy. So we are trying to create some opportunity for both refugees and host communities in Shirika Plan.
You have got 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Let me run through the question by Rosa. Allow me, Chair. Rosa asked me about the implication of the reduction in the allocation for passports. I want to appreciate the committee. This AINE, these efforts to have more money for passports has really helped us to come out of the problem. But there's a danger, as Mheshimiwa Rosa has indicated, that what will be the implication? Of those, the implication will be if we don't get support in the money for passports, then we go back to the same problem. Because the problem was just money. There was nothing else. It was actually funding to pay the supplier, to pay for passports on time, to buy the new printers, which we have actually come through. But if we don't, again, continue supporting, it takes us back actually to the problem, and it creates loopholes, creates corruption, and many other things. Honorable Aduma, 10 cases. What do you want the committee to do? Honorable Chair, in as far as the cases are concerned, I would like to say that we need the support of the committee to allocate to us enough resources. As I said, this is a threat to flagship projects by this government. E-Citizen is a flagship project. We have 3 cases. Issues to do with digital ID, we have 3 cases. And they are flagship projects for this government. So my request through Honorable Chair is the support of the committee in allocation of resources to deal with these cases. In as far as the third generation ID is concerned, I think that we are on course. We are now issuing third generation ID, which is Maisha card, and Kenyans are very happy about it. In this card, it is a dual interface card, this new Maisha card. What do I mean by dual interface card? It's a card, when you use your phone to check the chip, you can be able to check the chip using your phone, using an app called NFC. And you can see your details using your phone, using an app called ReadMe. You can see, using ReadMe, you can check by even putting a gadget there to check your details in the chip of this new smart card. It's really a very advanced card that we are using. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Actually, personally, I have one. Did I see Wanjao here? Yeah, I lost my old ID and I reached out. Yes, Chair, I'm here. And he really supplied me on record time. So I'm already ahead of you. I've got that generation as your chair. So it should take you. So just two questions so that we close. We'll have the Prime Cabinet already waiting. We have the head of civil service. So I don't know, because I know you.
Let me be quick.
To the point.
Yes, to the point.
To the point.
Thank you, Chair. First and foremost,
to the point. No comment.
Just a minute. We recommend ourselves, this committee, because we have provided funds for you. And the success that you have today comes from this committee. Just a few days ago, I was at Nyayo House. You know, by around 4 or 5, you used to see the queue outside Nyayo House. Right now, you might not see even a single person. That is a good success. That success comes from this committee and again to BS Bitok and his team.
Thank you.
Number two, I've realized the problem of people who get their IDs late, having a lot of problems at Nyayo House, especially when they are getting their passports. In my own area, my grandmother did not get an ID until she died. And she had, you know, the opportunity to get the ID, but they have not seen the importance of getting the ID because of, you know, a nomadic kind of life. Right now, the government has started cash transfers through NDMA, through other agencies and NGOs. People are now seeing the importance of having ID cards. And people are getting, you know, IDs at old age. When they want to have passports, I have realized that they are getting a lot of problems because they are marked, I don't know, GI, what do you call? GI or something. Until maybe a leader like me goes there and you know, helps them. But kindly, Mr. BS, try to issue at least, you know, a statement or a memo so that those people can get their fair share of the passports. Number three.
I said one.
This is what I'm saying. These are very important requirements. You know, one thing that Kenyans have not known is that these passports are helping Kenyans, and in fact, right now, as we speak, the foreign remittance has increased because of people getting passports, going out of the country, getting greener opportunities and greener, you know, pastures. There is a very big difference. And I can assure you, if you continue the way this department is now continuing, we will be having a lot of foreign remittance in this country. And that will be a success in our economy. Thank you.
So what is the question? It was comment. So comments, no question, only question Chair, now. Chair, but also to the question.
Chair,
and you withdraw. So Ngeleche, we close.
Chair, I also want to commend the PS and his team for what they have done. I want to ask, now that we have enough money for a PS, and you have no reason not to give passports on time, I want to ask, because people have gone through problems getting passports. I would like to know, and I'm asking for Kenyans, at what record time do we have a passport to get a passport? Two, I'm happy that I was part of the opening of migration office in Kericho, but I was there by default. I don't know what plans. When you have these functions, we should invite either the chairman or one of the committees. But I was there because I was confident that I was one of the members of the committee. Now, I would like to know how far, because the problem we have also on passports is the picking of passports, collecting of passports. And this issue of opening up offices down there by devolving these offices is making it easier. Can you have more offices out there so that people can be able to get passports with this?
Thank you. It's not a question to ask Bwana PS. Once you have your A in A at 4 billion, Kenyans should get passport in 3 days.
You should answer.
But that is what he said. That is what we had committed to Kenyans. You said we give you 4 billion A in A, you give Kenyans in record for 3 days. So just confirm that. So lastly, Ngelechai, it's not another. We are giving them money so that they give Kenyan timeline. And they have committed 3 days.
I wanted the PS to answer to Kenyans.
Yes.
You know, people believe in this PS.
Thank you, Chair. And no, I don't want to protect me from Honorable Puyo, Chair. Okay. Mine, Chair, is to ask the PS how far, or the last year when he was here with us, there is a suggestion that I brought up, and I still hold on to my idea, because PS, at times the VIPs or the Kenyans on emergency have a challenge. My neighbors, Chair, are speaking very loudly and I'm getting confused. Kindly.
Well gone. And Balosi, please, the MP want to be listening in silence.
Thank you, Chair. The other time I brought an issue of express or a premium counter, kind of. And I would wish to know how far, because to me, let me give you an example. Around 3 weeks ago, my daughter wanted to travel. Then when she woke up in the morning, when she's supposed to go to the embassy, she realized she has lost a passport. And she requested the embassy to reschedule, and she was given 2 days, 2 extra days. In such a scenario, she's not the only one. Many Kenyans at times find themselves in such a situation. Like you've seen even people at times announcing that there's somebody who left the passport in a matatu with a visa or something like that. I would still wish, and I'll still request that you get us that premium or an express counter so that we don't have people queuing in your offices. And that one per se encourages bribery and corruption within your building, because I am desperate. I want to fly. I have a ticket, maybe, but I've lost the passport. What will I do? I'll get a staff there and they'll tell me, give me something, give me 10,000, I do an express for you. I still want to know if at all the ideas from this noble committee add any, you take them with a pinch of salt, or you consider them as very important issues. Number two, you find people traveling from our small villages like Elgeyo Marakwet, like Kapsabet, to Kisumu, or to Eldoret to pick passports. The other time, PS also, I suggested that why don't you have a candid conversation with the postal services? You will even be giving revenue to that dead parastatal, so that whenever the passports are ready, they can be given. You can subcontract the postal services or a courier services to be delivering them. Because at times, these people, especially our youth who want to go to Saudi Arabia or something to look for something, they use a lot of money to shuttle. They go to Kisumu, they are told it's not yet there, or they do something like that. Why don't you make it a little easier and do a last mile, maybe, distribution? Thank you.
Thank you. I think that is the same what Balosi talked about, decentralization. The other one, I think it was a policy this committee recommended on the issue of creating premium. So you can just confirm whether you have already initiated the plan for the same.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Allow me to have 3 questions from 3 honorable members, Mr. Chair. Okay, first of all, let me start with Honorable Waitan on the comment on vetting. I want to say thank you very much, Honorable Waitan. And in as far as removal of vetting is concerned, we have 3 major innovations, or rather introductions, to deal with this issue. One, we are going to enhance school registration. Number 2, we have gone digital. We are going to confirm using our IPRS applications. And the other issue, which is very important, is we are now holding the chiefs and assistant chiefs personally accountable, or rather personally responsible for any registrations which are illegal. The other thing which we have introduced is we are working on a system on a family tree to deal with these late applicants. Let's have a family tree for everybody so that you can actually see, you can track. If you say I'm 20 years old and I didn't get an ID early, let us see your family tree. Confirm to us who is your father, who is your mother, who are your brothers, then we can be able to, and the system will be able to automatically confirm that. Honorable Sigei, thank you very much for the compliment. And you have asked, and I think the chair has helped me a little bit. Currently, in our service charter, it takes 14 days to get a passport. But we are saying, and we are reaffirming here, going forward with the 5.4 billion ANA, there's no reason why a Kenyan should not get a passport in 3 days. There's no reason, absolutely. We should be able to create a very efficient system. And I want to confirm to this committee that by 1st of August, we have actually agreed amongst ourselves together with the CS and everybody, by 1st of August, Kenyans should be able to get passports within 3 days of application. There should be no reason, absolutely, why they should not. With the resources, with the support of the committee, with the ANA, 3 days should be the time. In the number of offices we are opening, right now in the pipeline, we are opening Garissa County, Garissa office for immigration. Work is underway. We are expecting His Excellency to open. Towards the end of this month, on 31st, we are proposed to open Bungoma office. We are also opening Nyeri office. And soon we shall be having these offices. We are now having 8 offices. We are now going to 11. And we shall continue opening more offices. And to improve collection, just to add what Ngaleje has asked, we are having discussions with a company called VSF Global, a global company that can be able to help us actually distribute these passports more efficiently. And to come back to what Honorable Ngaleje asked, when the committee suggested that we do express service, we gazetted, actually as a department, we gazetted an express service for a passport for 20,000. So in our gazette notice for changing of for increasing the rates, there was an express passport as suggested by the committee. So we did implement immediately, you suggested. So to get an express passport, you pay 20,000 Kenya shillings. And it's there already gazetted by the government. In as far as the Posta suggestion is concerned, we have been having a relationship with Posta for the last 5 years. And we got into trouble with them. They lost quite a number of passports, like almost 5,000. And we have been having a case with them. They have been asking us to renew the contract, but we have been slow and hesitant because they cannot account for 5,000 passports. So we are stuck. And we decided, because they were not accountable, because they had many issues, we brought back our distribution back to immigration. But if they are able to make their systems efficient, it can be a good idea to use Posta. But we are also looking at VSF, the company which actually usually handles visas for these European countries. And they have the distribution across the country. They can be the ones to help us distribute these passports. But it is work in progress. But we wanted to, because of efficiency, but because of inefficiency in Posta, we were not able to renew the contract with them, because they cannot account for all our passports. That has been the problem. And one reason why there was a lot of noise against immigration, one problem we had was Posta. That was where the problem is. And when we pulled out from them, things are getting better. So allow me, Chair, to say that you give us more time. If Posta pulls up their socks, we don't mind going back to them. But for now, they are not yet out of problems. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So thank you so much, PS and your team. I know, of course, there's a lot of interest, and these are people representative. But it's a State Department that we are really proud, because even as the MP suggested, we move along to implement, and a lot of compliments coming across. Sure. So it's good now. The bad, sad stories about migration changing into good stories, sure. Successful stories, is very encouraging. And as I said, as you know, Balosi, these members allocate resources because we want timely, efficient services to Kenyans. So there's no question. It's not even either a question we should ask them. It's a direction that these members should give to the State Department. So it should not be a question, it's a direction. And this undertaking also the President did and the CS, and we are affirming the same as a committee. There's no reason whatsoever why Kenyans should not get passports and other crucial documents within 3 days if we, with the enhanced resources. So thank you so much, PS. You are allowed to leave. The meeting is adjourned, members. We have eaten almost 30 minutes into the other whatever, so I don't know, you need to take your lunch in 30 minutes. The Prime Cabinet is already seated. Yeah, so thank you so much, and you are free to leave.
Hi.